Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and I am a gorilla in the wrist. Today we're looking at this Casio G-Shock GR8900A Tough Solar Black Edition. And I have a question. I like to start these with a question. My question is, what is it about this brand that inspires so much love from the community? A lot to unpick, I suspect. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to start off by doing the usual. We're going to do a quick run around this watch. So as a reminder, this is the Casio G-Shock GR8900A Tough Solar, which you can see. The purple looking bit is the solar panel. And this is the black edition, so it comes with the inverted dial, and you know what I'm going to say about that later. But in terms of size, it's big. I'll say that again, just in case anybody is in doubt. This is big. Across the dial is 52.5 millimetres. It's hockey puck thick. It comes in at a whopping 16 millimetres, and that's if I'm being generous. The lug to lug is just fast because there isn't a huge amount of flexibility. My take on the lug to lug is I think it's somewhere around 64 millimetres. So massive, absolutely massive. So we're going to run very quickly through the specifications. Big, huge, massive, very. No, seriously. The dial width on this one is 52.5 millimetres. The lug to lug is over 60, depends how you're measuring it. The lug width is a quite paltry 16 millimetres, and the thickness is a chunky puck size 16 millimetres. And the mover inside is the Casio module 3269. The crystal is mineral, some form of hardened mineral. It weighs in a tiny 70 grams but has water resistance of 200 metres. And if I haven't said it all already, it's big. So we're going to talk about the things that I don't like first about this watch. And the first one I'll start with is that inverse display. Now I have to say it is an improvement over the Casio inverse display. Predominantly because it's much bigger. As with everything with this watch, it's just bigger. They should have called it the Casio Big. And that one I do find a little bit hard to read. But I think I'm just not a fan. And for those people who say, well, why did you buy one then? Yeah, it's a fair challenge. I think because I like the style of watch, and I picked this one up second hand on eBay. I think I paid a whole £25 for this, which for a £130, £140 watch seemed reasonable at the time. But I just find it not as easy to read. It does have the clever tip it forward and it lights up for you function. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you that on here. No, I can't. You're going to have to take my word on that. But it does have that auto set where if you lean it towards you, the light comes on. So that's quite useful. But as I say, I think for me, I'm not a massive fan of that. And then the second part really is this is true of all Casios, I guess. It's not a whinge about the G-Shock specifically. Just the amount of writing on the bloody watch, honestly. It's great to know some of this stuff when you first bought it. So it's great to have a reminder of where the buttons are. But I'm not a goldfish. I can remember where things are. And just reading this is like reading a small novella. So this one tells me that it's G-Shock. It offers me protection. It's solar. It's got 200 metres water resistant. It's got forward and reverse. I don't know why it's not a car. It starts, it stops, it splits, it resets, and it's Casio. Yes, of course it's Casio, because it's got the entire instruction manual on the dial. So I'm going to run through the things I like about this watch. And I guess the first one really is just how substantial this feels when you're on wrist. So yeah, it feels like a really substantial watch, and once it's on wrist, it's remarkably light for how big it is. I think it's sort of 60-70 grams. There's nothing of it in terms of weight. So it isn't noticeable apart from the fact that it looks like you've got a sundial strapped to your wrist. What else do I like about it? I love the ruggedness of it. This is the watch that you can just slap on and not worry what you're doing if you're diving into a swimming pool, jumping out of an airplane. I mean, if you're going to do that, make sure you've got a parachute. I wear these. I tend to wear these as my beta. It's what I wear in the garden. And I've said it before, I am a bit of a clumsy oaf. And it's not uncommon for me to smack my arms into things, and you simply don't have to worry about that when you're wearing this. And it's certainly one of its major selling points. So actually, physical activity is its friend. It really doesn't shy away from anything, which is really impressive. And the next thing is about its genuine longevity. So I buy and sell watches. My wife buys and sells watches on eBay. We regularly get in Casios that are 20-30 years old, still going strong, never a problem. You do occasionally get problems. It would be foolish for me to say otherwise. You do occasionally get problems with them. But actually, broadly speaking, these things have a real shelf life, and the only requirement they normally have is a change of battery every couple of years. Although even some of those don't need to be changed for a decade or so. And this one has a solar battery, so actually at some point the solar battery will need replacing, but it's not going to be for a very long time. The other thing I guess I like about it is that it does have all the functionality you need in a watch. So it does have dual time, so I know where it is anytime, what the time is anywhere in the world at any time. It does have alarms, 5 of them. I've never known why I need 5 alarms, but it certainly does that. It does have an hourly signal if you want. It does have a pretty decent stopwatch with lap counters and all that good stuff. Again, I don't run fast enough really to ever need a stopwatch, but you get the general idea. And a countdown timer that I do use regularly. I use it when I'm cooking. I'm using for various things where I need to be aware of the passing of time. And so therefore I do use the functionality of that. Okay, so I'm going to have a go at summing this one up. I started with a question at the start of this video where I said, what is it we think that actually inspires so much love for the Casio brand? So I'm going to have a go at answering that, and I'm going to pick out what I think are my 3 top reasons why it inspires that much love. There are lots of others, but I think these are the ones that kind of stick out to me. I'd be really interested to hear what the brand means to you and what your top 3 reasons why you like it, or if you don't like it, what your top 3 reasons for not liking it are. But for me, the first reason is that it's a little bit of a brand that's been around for a long time. They started making watches in the sort of the early 70s. And so for my lifetime, Casio has always been a watch brand. The second reason I like it is a fairly obvious one. Everybody knows how tight I am. But it just offers outstanding value for money. Whether it's a Casio F91 that you're buying for $10, just as something to stick on your watch with those terrible lights on it, all the way up through to custom designed Casio that I occasionally see on Chrono 24 for thousands of dollars, all the way through to the sort of full metal Casios and G-Shock squares at sort of $400-500. It covers everything. It covers all budgets. It's not a luxury brand. If I want to spend tens of thousands of pounds, then we'll go and look at something else. But it does have a price that fits everybody's pocket, which I think is fantastic. And then the final part, really, the third element for me, is just sheer reliability. This is like that comfortable pair of shoes that you wear until there's absolutely nothing left of them. I think over the last few years we've been living through some fairly uncertain times, and I think one of the things that you do get from this watch is certainty. You know it'll always work. You know that when you fall over and drop it in a puddle, you're not going to have any problems with it. You know the battery's going to last forever. You know the functionality is great. You know that it's accurate. All those things that you really need in a watch. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? To me, some of these are really nice looking watches. Certainly the Casio is just, you know, it's a handsome bugger, isn't it? So for me, that's the sort of my three big reasons. For this watch in particular, this G-Shock, it's just a joy to wear it. I know it's enormous, but so am I. Being blunt, it fits and works for me. And I know lots of people that wear it in the sort of the work environment where they're doing physically demanding jobs, for exactly the three reasons that I've mentioned. So this one I think is a cracker. Do I wish I'd got the one that didn't have the inverted display? Yes, absolutely. Lives and learns, I guess. But this is still a great watch, and this has been a lot of fun to make this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. So we've got more good stuff coming over the next couple of weeks. So it'd be great to see you back again. Would love for you to subscribe to the channel, comment if there's something you would like to see that I'm not covering. I'm more than happy to hear. Other than that, just to wish you all a fantastic week, and hopefully we'll see you back real soon. Thank you.